Okay, we're here with Dave Sullivan from Wingman Multisport Coaching in the northern suburbs. He coaches athletes from varying degrees, from 10K distance races up to marathon, Ironman. So we're just here talking to him about coaching in general, some tips what guys should be looking at doing 8 weeks out from Cape Town Marathon, for instance. So tell us, 8 weeks out from a marathon, for instance, Cape Town Marathon's coming up, Asics is associated with the race. What should your athletes be looking at? What do you make your athletes run distance-wise, type of running that they do at the moment?
They are starting to build their longer runs into the program now. We're still doing a bit of strength running, so a bit of track, a bit of hills, good strides, nice form work, but we're starting to now build the distance, so they're starting to practice their nutrition. They're starting to make sure they've got the right shoe on, the right kit what they're going to run in, because it's going to be a long day out there. And
generally, obviously, you advise the guys to test everything prior to the race to make sure everything works. And do you personally take your athletes, do you do one-on-one assessments with them before they start? So you've got varying groups that you train your athletes in?
We try and do that. We try and make it so that we don't have the slowest guys running with the fastest guys, but the programs are individually assessed and written for them so that they running to their potential. And
distance-wise, their long runs, 8 weeks out from a marathon, time on the legs, more or less their distance, their long runs. What time or distance do you advise them to run?
I'm building them up to about 2.5 hour up to maybe 3 hour runs, depending on the athlete.
Okay, and they do group runs together, so you pace the guys together. Track work, for instance, wise, what kind of repeats do you make them do?
I'm starting to do longer intervals now. 800, sometimes 1,000, sometimes 1,200. Not too short, so there's not too much stress on the legs. After they would have run a long run on the weekend, so they probably wouldn't be in the best form to run short stuff, and they're building longer intervals.
Rest days, how many do they get every week?
Monday mornings they always get a nice rest day. They get that on their program, so it's nice for them. And then Fridays is invariably a cross-training day, so a swim or a spin. Okay,
you coach obviously road runners plus multi-sport athletes. So do you get your triathletes in itself do cross-training with biking and swimming? Do you advise your road runners to do similar type of cross-training?
Yes, they do. It's always an easy spin, an easy swim, something different to just running all the time. So just change it up.
Strength training, do you take the guys to the gym? Do they just do normal hill repeats?
On Tuesday nights when we run our track, we do some core work, and then I advise them to get into the gym as well once more in the week.
Okay. So stretching is one thing that athletes normally fail to do or neglect to do, in essence. How do you approach stretching with your athletes prior to training, after training? How long do they stretch, type of thing?
At the end of 2 of the sessions during the week, we get a good stretch in, full body. I ask them to foam roll and do their maintenance work and stretching. Not all athletes are very inclined to do that, but I do stress it every week that they have to at least get a good full body Zen session and once a week.
Yeah. And sorry, this is something also athletes neglect to do. I know a lot of professional athletes do it, especially leading up to races, leading up to big training sessions. Do you advise the guys to mentally train themselves or mentally prepare themselves in essence before training, big training sessions or races?
I try and ask them to look into visualizing what they're going to do on race day when they do those race simulation sessions, like that long run before the marathon. Try and get themselves into a headspace where it is almost race day and they're expecting the hard, difficult part, so they know what to do when they do approach them and hit them.
Okay, so 8 weeks out from a marathon, when do you start cutting back? I know you normally do 3-4 weeks taper prior to a race, but when do you actually start cutting back the distance in their programs?
I try and do the big max week and the 4th week out, and then start bringing it down from
there. Okay, so basically they've got another 4-week block, the guys training for the marathon, to actually grind a bit, put the mileage in, put the hard miles in. Another thing, recovery. Do you advise your guys to use nutritional supplements? You've said foam roll, massage, all that type of thing. Do you guys are aligned with someone, or do you advise them to use certain type of supplements?
I'm no nutrition expert, so I don't get too involved in that. I do ask them to go out there and research and discover for themselves what works for themselves. I think we need it. I do believe it's necessary. Good diet. I always promote good diet. Well, I eat very well, and Yeah, I try and get them to.
But good diet, you do need to treat yourself now and then after a long run. A bit of a milkshake here, ice cream there.
Oily food is always good. The joints need it.
Well, the joints, absolutely. Dave, thanks very much.
Thank you, David.
Nice to see you.